All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to add Swarovski crystals to your designs. The first thing that you need to know is that you need to cleanse your client's skin before you begin working, meaning before you even start applying the henna, you're going to cleanse their skin with 70% rubbing alcohol. This is to disinfect the skin. And then, of course, when you are applying your crystals in, you're going to use a disposable applicator. So I actually use a pin, like what you would use to roll cones or when you're doing clothing alterations. I use a pen. I use the ball point tip of it, and I just dip that into my glue one time, and what I get from that is what I use on her to apply the glue in the places that I want those crystals to go. Now you'll notice that when the glue goes on, it goes on white, but it's going to dry down, and it dries down to a transparent color. Once it turns transparent, then you know that it's ready for the crystals to be applied. If you apply the crystals while the glue is still white, it doesn't stick as well. So you really do want to wait until it turns transparent, and then you'll apply the crystals on top. What I like to do is when I'm choosing my locations, I'll just kind of be mindful, because the glue itself, where you place the glue obviously is going to have a role in how long those crystals will last on her. So I just kind of look through the design as I'm planning it and consider that. Now, one of the things that you should know, you'll want to use a wax stick or some sort of other tool to apply the crystals, because if you don't, it's hard for you to grab those crystals and put them on properly. I use this tool. It's called a crystal katana. It picks up the crystals on one side, on the side with the black rubber tip, and then I use this tip, which is just a blunt edge, to then press those crystals onto the skin to make sure that they're really tightly, placed, really nicely adhered onto that glue. Now, the adhesive that I'm using is called Prozaid, and Prozaid will, it's a medical grade glue. It also is often used in special effects, and it will allow for those crystals to stay on the skin normally somewhere between 3 to 5 days. Now, again, depending on where you place the crystals, you may find that they'll come off a little bit more quickly. Typically, if you have them on the fingers, you're going to find that those crystals are going to last closer to 1 to 3 days instead. What I like to do is focus the majority of the crystals towards the top of the design, where I know that they will stay for a little bit longer, and then just place a couple towards the fingers for my client to enjoy during that day. What I let them know is that they can re-adhere their crystals if they'd like to do so, using something like a lash glue. That tends to work really well. But for us, I recommend using a Prozaid glue. There are 2 different types of Prozaid glue. One of them includes latex and the other does not, so make sure that you're mindful of that when you're purchasing the glue that you want to use. But yeah, this is how you do it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free, you can drop them in the comments and I'm happy to clarify. All right, hope this helps.